this. A few weeks ago, we talked about the necessity of reciting and repeating. And we talked about it as a beginning, as an intention, and then as it formed or manifest into a thought. And that from that thought, then we would realize, find behaviors, find speech, find gestures, find images that were congruent or in accord, would be a phrase from the suttas, in accord with that beginning right view. And so we remind and remember a couple of thousand times that right view is at its essence then understanding that there is no distinction, there is no separation, there is no way to not hold all other beings ultimately with the same open heart mind that you hold yourself, that you hold your loved ones, if not yourself. And that this is ultimately the essence, maybe, of the Buddhist teachings, which is this idea that everything else, all perceptions of self, all perceptions of others, all perceptions that this is over there, all perceptions that it's not mine, not me, all perceptions that it's just your problem and your dilemma, is delusion, right? That's the probably at its core. And then the second, maybe, consideration would be that because of that truth, that essential, immutable, unshakable truth, everything we then do, say, think has the potential to contribute to the happiness, to the ease, to the well being of others, not just ourselves. And the way, as Jean and I have talked both here and privately, the way we often twist that into a problem is to make everything we think, do, and say a sin, to make everything we think, do, and say the reason for suffering, right? This is actually not the understanding. We grab that because we come from a Judeo Christian myth that says if you don't get it perfect, you're screwed. And it means you're failed and you're destined for hell or suffering or loss, which we actually know is somewhat ridiculous because what do we also know? Everyone without exception will know loss. Everyone without exception will know pain. Everyone without exception, there is none. They've never been found who will not know both the beauty of love and the tragedy of our inability to grasp it for sometimes a minute, and for sure we know then, don't we, for a lifetime. Like nobody's going to get to. And we all go, well, what did I do? Or what did they do? Or what to secure these goodnesses, these things that are loving, kind, beautiful, and compassionate. And the Buddha says one thing simply: be it. Be it. There's no way to lose it from there. Not only in the present moment, right, where we certainly want to have ease, calm, joy, equanimity, compassion, love, but beyond that which you could possibly know, beyond anything in this lifetime. And in fact, what we do understand now is any lifetime, because love only by its very nature expands. That's it. We just know that in the physics, We know that in the brain. We know that in the bloodstream. We have tons of evidence that the only thing that happens is the heart gets bigger and the mind gets bigger. And that bigness includes others that then contribute to their being bigger. Uh, Simple, really, right? Not so complicated. We tend to, I think, make it. And so this idea of repetition uh, becomes essential practice. We have known this throughout all time, haven't we? We started with chants and song and prayer in our deep understanding. And it has been throughout all time, given all people, in all traditions, in all cultures, in all directions. There has been no exception to this ever. We all know. And guess what we rely on then in those difficult, challenged, delusional, painful moments? We rely then on those very songs. We rely on those very prayers. We rely on those very recitations, those very suttas, those very, it doesn't matter to me, does it? So don't get confused. I don't care what you recite. I care that you recite it. I cannot get the group to do it. I cannot get you to do it. You know why? Anybody know why? It's not because you don't believe me, because you're all nodding. So I know you know, and I know you know. This isn't even a question. I don't think there's one person out there going, I don't know. I don't think so. I know you know for sure. So right into chatter, come. Why can't I get anybody? Now I don't mean this literally. This is my Chicago carpenter. Come online. Why can't I get the group as a whole to commit to at least once, if not 3 times a day? We know the research, by the way, says three's better. Of course it is. Three's better. Evening and night, morning and evening are the minimums because you're wrapping the brainstem in the buffer of that goodness to begin the day and to end it. So at the minimum, you're doing it at the beginning of a day and the end of a day, hopefully. But why the third? Well, because 3 makes a pattern. That's why, because 3 is a pattern. 2 is not a pattern. 2 is we're on a way to a pattern, but we're not yet at it. Honestly, that's actually the truth. I'm not making this stuff up. 3 is the pattern. And so we look for 3s in everything, including the artwork we hang often, don't we? Groups of 3, they say. Yeah, Siobhan's, she does feng shui and all kinds of beautiful stuff, right? We understand there is something in the 3 that now makes something larger, even in relationship, don't we? Now, in relational development, let's even talk about that for a second. How interesting. We know that the dyad is necessary. We know it is valuable, right? Mother to child, partners, right? All kinds of essentials. But we also know it does not have sufficient relationship development till it enters, till the entry of the third. The true expanding really does not occur. Why? Because the other simply mirrors you. That's why this is just developmental psychology. The other simply mirrors you. Like, right, and that's the best friend, aren't they? You go, that was stupid, and they go, that was stupid. You go, that wasn't that amazing. They go, that was amazing, right? And so you get this beautiful thing. And by the way, we all need them, and I'm very fortunate to have that in my life, right? But it is not sufficient for the ease, the joy, the happiness of this world. We have to enter that which takes us beyond our own egoic, mirrored heart, mind, right? Yeah, Yes, I'm recording. Libby's asking me to record. I don't exactly know why, but it's good. So I already see written here, 3 is a magic number. Yes, it is. It's a magic number. It is. It's a magic number for all those reasons, and then even reasons beyond those. Mother, child, and spirit. Yes. Mother, child, and that which is beyond it, that which holds it, that which it holds, that which makes our interests and our commitments larger than just me and you, which we understand now, ultimately by accident, not with intent, becomes tribalism. Just me and you becomes separatist. You know, do you ever see a young couple in love? I remember Tyler and Jenny, just as an example. It was like no one else was in the room because there wasn't anyone else in the room. They looked at each other, they talk to each other, they right. It's only now, really, a lot of years later, and they're now in their 30s, and Tyler will be 40, right? That they're going like, "How are you? How are you? What's going on with you? Are you okay? Is there anything we can offer to you?" And it's a greater heart, isn't it? It's a greater heart, and not all of us get there, by the way. And so we have to understand the suffering of that. Like I couldn't get even beyond this pained, deficient trance of me to get over to you. Not even the one other, let alone then what we call the universal or relational others. And then, of course, what do we know? It dissolves into all beings. And that's why the recitations from the Buddhist tradition, in particular, always say that, even when right now you're not capable. Like, I can't hold everybody in this thing. I'm struggling to hold it myself. Well, this is not a problem. You know why? This is an aspiration. And we understand that karma, life circumstance, one's own development, one's own practices contribute to that ultimate universal, uncompromised, imperturbable end that we will and are capable of holding all beings equally with that same purpose. Courtney says, I'm finally at a place where I remember every morning. Now, 2 more times a day, another habit to gain, and the busyness of the rest of the day to let go. And yes, this is a part of its benefit. By the way, Courtney is naming it. It is you have to get present in a larger way to stop your busyness, your doingness, your otheringness, to get to these practices, these prayers, these whatever vows, whatever you will have to interrupt that task positive network mind that knows how to start and does not know how to stop. Right? You're going to have to create and fix and kind of stake a pause in your day for this. I want everybody to try it this week. We're going to shoot for the 3 times, just 1 week, 7 days. 7 days is all. We're not talking about forever, for all of life and all lifetimes. We'll start small. Let's see if you could do it today. But it would mean that you would have to catch the mind already caught in its busyness, already caught in its othering, already caught in its infinite storylines to come home to the truth of the present moment. And you and all beings in it, wouldn't you? And it would change at least the next several minutes. And the research says it changes the day. And I happen to believe that that is true. It has been my own experience. We rather escape in all the things we think we need. However, spirit trumps all. Dennis uses the word spirit. For me, that's just as long as we know it's not a separate thing. It is the thing that this awakened heart mind, in fact, is not separate either from who we. Okay, let me go back and see if we have anybody posting. So, and then we're going to have Siobhan read hers as we prepare to sit. Siobhan, does that still feel workable for you? Yes. Wonderful. Let's see if we have any others. I put in Laura's. She sent it to me. Janine's working with the Bodhisattva vow. Beings are numberless. I vow to save them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. Boy, that always gets me. The Buddha's way is unsurpassable. I vow to become. Thank you. Peace, be still. Yes, Steve, thank you. Relax, let go, just breathe. Yes. Peace, be still, I think, is a phrase from a Christian, one of the Christian traditions, right? 2 is a coincidence. 3 is a trend. Exactly right. 3 is the magic number. Yes. Why don't we do it? For me, if I don't write it and post it around my home, I forget it. Yes, Jean, we were just talking about that. It's so true. I think postings are beautiful. So yeah, get those stickies up. That's all good. You won't need them after the week. And you will need them for the week. And isn't it okay? Don't we all need training wheels? You know, you could get that written and get it on the face of your phone so that every time you picked up that phone, there it was. Now, if every time you picked up your phone, you would recite that, it'd change your brain for the better in probably 48 hours. Wouldn't that be something? Right? So look at where we have opportunities right there in this thing we carry around all day to the extent that our hands hurt. So we could open our hearts like that. And I think there are deeper reasons. The suffering is a habit. I don't deserve to feel better. Yes. The brain is grooves of habit thinking. That's exactly right. And they are, we can cock them in, thank goodness, with new patterns, new repetitions. And in fact, it's the reason that Jean is speaking that we have to, isn't it? Because we have already been in a repetition practice. Don't we know it? We've all already been there. We're already doing it. We've done it today already. So why not with intention and right view and then right effort leading to right result? Commit ourselves wholeheartedly. And so exactly right. Thank you. I'm finally at a place, that was Courtney, we read that. I do it consistently in the morning and I'm working on closing my day. Ends of day are hard because we're tired and we often fall into bed rather than elect to take time before then to offer that nourishment to ourselves and then to others. So yes, it would require more effort and more time. We'd have to save time in the day to be able to get to this and not be completely exhausted. That's an important statement. I have to be mindful and present about how I'm reciting it to myself. That's right. Pausing after each line and letting it sink in helps. Yes, it does. And we talked about my friend Tom Jeff from Meta Forest Monastery who recites it so fast. I know he can't possibly know or feel or allow the experiencing of the phrases. And in fact, it is the point, what Siobhan is saying, it is the point of the recitation, not just the repetition, but the felt sense. That you too can feel the ease, the calm, the love, the capacity, within your own heart mind. So that is exactly correct. And if you're just speaking like this all the time and then you can't say it and then you don't even know what you said, and every Catholic priest I've ever met has that bad habit, as well as Tan Jeff, by the way, who's Buddhist. I keep looking at him like, I don't even know what's happening here. I don't know what you said. So if you were saying it with the hope of me gaining benefit, I don't even know what this is. Amazingly, I will tell you this truth. During the Tibetan Lama's visit at the UU, she recited it in, I'll say, her cadence, but her pauses, her looking at others, her hesitation, her bowing, her closing her own eyes radiated it. I wasn't going to understand the words, and they didn't matter. She did. She did. And that transmission was big and filled the room. Never got a word. She never knew one word. And then, by the way, we recited them with her. They handed us a sheet in Tibetan, and I'm going, blah, 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 blah. I don't know either, and I feel it still. I feel it still. Right? And so we want to be careful what we understand about this. This is the invoking of this awakened heart mind, which is why the words alone are not as important as what you bring to them. We could all say Mary had a little lamb. It wouldn't be a problem at all. Right? So we want to be careful how fixed, rigid, literal we become when in fact the recitation is valuable as a marker and also as an invoker. Remember? So, right? And so the Hindi tradition, what do they say? Om or ah, right? For a reason, it says, wake up. This is it. Wake up. We're doing it. So bring the whole heart mind here. And that is why the recitation in most spiritual traditions, just so you know, often starts with a seed syllable. It's just the bell. Wake up, here we are. This is it. The one you've got in which to be most alive, most awake, most loving, most compassionate. And so watch that for yourself. And as I said a little bit before, at the time of Gandhi's death, he was saying Ram, why God, God. He'd said it 100,000 times before. And so he was doing what? Invoking, taking on the heart mind of that God. In the Christian tradition, we mistake this frequently as calling to something else, hoping it saves us. Calling to something else, hoping it saves us. Well, that something else isn't going to save you, but calling out to open is certainly of benefit, isn't it? The getting out of one's own small, busied, harried, distracted heart mind. And so whichever words work there. May I abide in devotion to love for the benefit of all. Beautiful, Jean. Yes, thank you, Steve, for that reference. I did understand it was in the Christian tradition and, in fact, in the Bible. Lovely, thank you. All right, here we are. So we're going to review the summary today. We're not doing it now, of course, before our practice. I'm going to grab my pillow. We're going to get Siobhan on unmute. She is going to recite her daily recitation. And I'll grab the bell. And then we're going to sit. And we're going to sit a little bit silently for several minutes because we're going to let that soak in. And then we're going to let that which is us arise to greet it. And so let's see. Siobhan, are you on?
I'm on.
Yes. Blessings. Wonderful to see you. Siobhan, you've got it. We can hear you all well, I think. Can everybody hear? She's got a good, yeah. Anytime you're ready, and I will strike the bell at the end. And thank you so much for your offering today.
Thank you for suggesting this. May I trust this world and sense the safety and protection from the seen and the unseen. May my heart remain open. May I awaken to the light of my own true nature. May I find my way to healing and be at peace with whatever life brings me. May I be a source for healing for all beings. May I love and accept myself just as I am. May I sense my worthiness and well-being. May I hold myself in compassion. May I meet the suffering and ignorance of others with compassion. May the actions that I take towards the good, toward understanding myself, toward being more peaceful, be of benefit to all beings everywhere. May I be filled with loving kindness and experience well-being. May I be peaceful and experience ease in my life. May I know true happiness. May I remember that I am not alone, that I am part of the whole, connected to this life. May I be grateful for all the blessings in my life, for my friends and my community. And may I remember that I am loved.
Breathing in, may I find refuge. Breathing out, may I rest in peace and ease. You may take a phrase, a word from your own recitation, from Siobhan's, from anywhere else that is resonant for you right now, and offer it to yourself on both the in breath and the out breath. It will stabilize and awaken the heart mind. Breathing in and wake. Mm. You can simply recollect the words with the breath. Awake, peaceful. And then see if we can expand this felt sense of ease, of peace, of wakefulness, of joy, of equanimity, of compassion, whatever is vital and alive in you. And see if we can't breathe it out, opening into the space, remembering that that great eastern sun of Trungpas is radiating these very qualities down upon you and also all around you. That we invoke and invite not only within our own heart minds, but within the heart minds of all beings and beyond. And then we feel, sense, and know the wakefulness, the refuge, the ease or the peace that is all around us. And we begin to place the mind from this invoking and recollection for where this is alive and true. Maybe just feeling the spaciousness of this present moment, knowing you are safe. Just this safety, this moment. Looking for not only within oneself, but now breathing out and finding the evidence for ease. I can hear the very light breath of little man as he sits here resting. Ease not only within, but around. Informing and feeding my own. You can, particularly when the mind is distracted, invite a short gata, as Lynn did last week. It will invite several breaths, invite the whole experience of the mind body, and begin to settle. I have arrived. I am home. In the here and in the now. Here, now. We offer a guard, a resting place, and the calling up of these qualities within our own heart mind. And this is not a demand, it isn't an expectation, it is simply a remembering, a recollection, a calling up of what is already known and that is available in all moments. It doesn't mean necessarily, though, that you feel this in the relative way. What is true is that it A is available within you, B that we're calling it to recollect, remember, and to the extent that we can, get a felt sense of it. And that the very willingness to turn towards the heart, mind, and body means we are willing to greet whatever arises. That this is our essential courage. This is our continuous bravery, and in fact is a most radical act of love and compassion, even when you feel that shaky tenderness. There is something larger in this radiant eastern sun heart mind that holds us in all circumstance, under all conditions, including this shaky tenderness. So be watchful of this demand to feel well or happy, or this is not actually the work. In fact, from the cultivation of these qualities of heart mind, we may then be able to turn towards our own distress, hold ourselves in our own difficulty or suffering, and abide and be refuge and continue fearlessly, compassionately, lovingly. May we all have happiness and the causes for happiness through abiding happiness. May we all be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May we rejoice and be glad at our good fortune, the fortune of this precious human life with its capacities for love, compassion, wisdom. And may we wish this for all beings. May we rest and dwell in this vast, open heart mind, free from greed, free from hatred, free from ignorance. And may this practice this very day be for you. Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Siobhan. And all of you. Please keep sending them. We're going to just make a little book and make sure you not only have yours, but your friends, so you know they are practicing for and with you as well. Does everyone understand the idea of Gata? Gata is a recitation, usually only 2 to 4 phrases, not usually longer. I have seen them be up to 16, but it's very unusual because they're difficult to remember and to recite, and they are recited with the breath. And Thich Nhat Hanh, I think, was the master of those, as you just heard in that recitation of Here and Now. We're going to check. Yes. Thank you so much for that. Thank you to Siobhan. We're going to see if we can't find all of you, see if you can't locate. I think I can see mine, which makes me so excited that I didn't botch that today. My tech wizardry is at an all-time low. So it's good that we can locate. Can people see the moon in your heart, the sun in your head, the indestructible nature, sacred world? And then we got all the way down here. We're going to start at sacred world, just as a reminder. But we're going to see if we can't review these, at least some of them today. So recollecting the sacred world, Chogyam believed, as we were just talking about, that the whole world is here and organized in the universal law of supporting your life, right? Of supporting your well-being. And we know it's true. The air is here. The sun is here. Sufficient moisture is here. There is sufficient plants and animals here, though it will not remain. Will it? We also know this as well if we don't start to recognize that this sacredness is actually only ultimately possible with our participation. And we know this in our ecology, we know this in our meditation practice. We understand that without the sacred world and our contact with it and our commitment to it, I would say, that we ultimately cannot certainly survive at the minimum. And then, even more importantly, we cannot be joyful, happy, easeful. And it says here, this sacred world idea shows how gentleness and insight reveal the world as inherently sacred. Another word maybe you could use is connected. And in that inherent connectedness, interconnection, interbeing is sacred, as all things then are sacred. Perceiving this magic, the warrior engages every moment with reverence and confidence, appreciation and clarity about the truth of this world, even when things are difficult. And here's the quote: the experience of sacredness brings together the moon in the heart, brings together the heart and the mind, is what he's saying. Sacredness comes from developing gentleness towards ourselves. Well, to be gentle, you must be present to win. To offer yourself that gentleness, you must be available. The mind could not be scattered, could it? It could not be busy in order to offer yourself that very refuge, that space, that gentleness, that care that Chogyam's talking about. And victory is unconditional victory based on unconditional warriorship. He means the victory is every moment that we are present, isn't it? Every moment that we are present is a victory. and contributes to something, by the way. It doesn't mean you were doing anything, actually, but your presence to it invites the next moment of presence. And this is our essential and continuous path. So the seventh, I think we read it, but I'll review the education of the warrior. He uses a cradle to grave. Somebody changed the word to maturity, but it's typically referenced as cradle to grave metaphor to map the warrior's training, doubtlessness, discipline, and lineage guidance, nurture innate courage until it fully blossoms. Doubtlessness is a big word. He means that we continue. I don't think he means that there's no moment of doubt. He means in spite of maybe these moments of confusion, is this really going to work? Am I really capable? I don't know, all beings and all lifetimes. This seems like a big order. And that the cultivation of the discipline, actually, we understand this from all teaching paradigms, by the way. We understand that you have to have sufficient doubtlessness, but also sufficient doubt, or we could call that curiosity, couldn't we? In order to establish a discipline, to go, well, I don't know exactly yet. I don't have all the wisdom, but I at least have enough to say there's something here. That's what he means by the doubtlessness, to continue. Sufficient doubtlessness to continue in the path, in the discipline, with the teachings available to you. They are available to you according to this tradition and others because of your other amazing karmic benefits that you have been really offered these teachings. And I don't mean just Buddhist teachings in any way. I mean the teachings of all of life, because you were paying enough attention to get them, weren't you? You were paying enough attention. You were present enough to get here. Somehow, when we notice, right, in very different circumstances, we can barely, we know that there are people who can barely make it to work and home in the day, right? We would say that person not yet, based on their circumstances, their difficulties. And so we then commit ourselves all the more to being awakened, to being present, not only for ourselves, but then for them, going, not everybody's going to get a shot at this. Not everybody is even going to hear this possibility or understand it or see it or feel it in this lifetime. It's a truth, isn't it? You know it. You have run into them, haven't you? Going, this person is going to be in suffering. This may not. They may not have the conditions. However, what we do not do that is very different than other traditions is say that means something's fucked up about you. We don't do that. We go, no, you do not yet have the development. You have not yet been offered all that is available. You are not so fortunate. That's why we have sympathetic joy. You are not yet so fortunate in this lifetime, maybe, or in many, or who knows, right? I don't know the answer to that. Just, I know now, not likely to awaken now, based on circumstances, both inner and outer, but not with blame, not with recrimination, not with if you could only get it together, this world would be better. No, this teaching says, then you be better. Then you be better. Knowing it, you have been offered something. Not everyone has yet been able to be offered or to secure. And that's the education, isn't it? It's bigger than the words. Stepping out of the baby stroller is the first real breakthrough. I think he's being humorous here to saying, this is our growing up. This is our maturation. This is our recognizing. Not everyone has the same opportunities and offered through the same means in the same ways at all, but you have. But you have. And we can know that too and be grateful, joyful, and glad at that opportunity. Nonviolence, we talked about ahimsa. We meet every moment with kindness, with wisdom, and with compassion, even when it means we may have to scream stop. Nonviolence does not mean that you are passive. It does not mean that you do nothing but say the prayer. It does not mean that you don't get on the phone bank, even though everybody in Louisiana yesterday wasn't picking up their phone for to hear that there was a reconciliation bill going through that was going to trash their lives and many others, right? And yet, what do? We continue. And this nonviolence means without aggression, without hatred, but not with passivity. Doesn't mean that. It's often misunderstood. Egolessness, not only care for oneself, leads to ahimsa. It is true, the warrior's way. Learning to be friendly toward not only others, but our own difficulties is essential for cultivating loving kindness. And it must be directed also towards ourselves. And do not think of being on a battlefield. That just solidifies the idea of what us and them, me versus you, this versus that, in a way that is not helpful and will further violence. Overcoming doubt explores how boredom, laziness, and avoidance masks our true tenderness. We deaden ourselves rather than feel the truth of that shaky tenderness, that reality of being human. And our fearlessness, I spoke to it in the meditation, arises by our contact with it, not our avoidance, not our running the other way, not our pasting over platitudes about it. That staying present right in the moments of vulnerability and challenge are what grows that warriorship strength and courage. We have everything we need to make the journey already. It's 100% true. Fearlessness is extending ourselves beyond our limited view of us versus them and be there all along. That means be that which you seek. Some of the final words of the Buddha. Be the lamp you seek. Don't look for it somewhere else, in someone else, but radiate that yourself. The Tools of Bravery from Chapter 10 introduces these three guides: the sun as this essential discipline, the echo. I don't know if anybody remembers this, that awareness is always there and always bouncing back to us and into us, and the bow and arrow of skillful action. The Pali term is upaya. Together, they ferment fear into the beer of fearlessness. They are always active, always occurring in a confluence, sometimes one more than the other, but all necessary towards this bravery. Here's the quotes. The path of fearlessness begins with the discovery of fear, and I would say contact with it. Seeing it is one piece, but I think actually knowing it may be required. Beyond our nervousness, we find that shaky tenderness. We may have noticed that a little bit today. Sunshine is all pervasive, always available, always shining. Similarly, the warrior never neglects their discipline. This is part of our difficulty, I think, is the discipline. We are disciplined enough to have that phone with us all the time, to look for it no matter what, to make sure it's by our side. We are not sufficiently disciplined to say the phrases we have committed to repeating 3 times a day. I would say this is a useful inquiry, not with judgment, but with what happens. that I am placing greater emphasis, commitment on my phone than I am on my inner being. Because the phone will give you nothing other than a reminder to be it. But it cannot do it for you. So watch for that habit. The habits we hold are interesting to look at, aren't they? Because they inform us about some places in which we are frequently stuck or blind. Like, if I do this, then this will equal something better. It is frequently short-lived and often addictive, isn't it? It's just addictive. We have the phone because it's an addiction, not because we're thinking about the phone, really. We're addicted to the phone. That's a whole different process. And so that we need our discipline, essential discipline, these commitments we make to a way of being in the day, every day, no matter what, that ultimately contribute to our happiness, to our ease, and to our becoming that which we are seeking. Unconditional fearlessness, chapter 11, defines fearlessness as cheerfully doubt-free. Now remember, there's a qualifier in there. Doubt is always a part, because in the present moment, there is this concept of inquiry. Is this right? Is not the same as doubt. It is skillful. Is this the best? Skillful. This inquiry is essential to the path to wisdom. I don't know. I'm not sure. These are not qualities of doubt at all. These are qualities of inquiry. So distinguish them. It is right to ask questions. It is right to consider. It is right to say, I don't know. It is best not to know before you arrive, for sure. And then there is this other doubt, which is seen as unskillful, which is to say, there is nothing here. This is not the way. It will not benefit me, because it is not true. It is not true, simply because it is not accurate. It will. You must also bring the discipline to it in order to experience it. True weapons are gentleness and openness, nothing aggressive or uncaring at all. Success and failure become equally workable as we stay in the seat of our basic goodness, right? We're going to fail, we said. This is actually not our problem. It's just an ego bummer. But it's not a problem. Of course you're going to fail. You cannot learn, right? As I was saying to my son who got in that car accident, you must have experience to grow in wisdom. It is not simply a good idea. It is not enough, right? And so there will be mistakes, but recognizing the mistake and understanding how it occurred, he'd never been in those conditions before. And then we can say, okay, now making adjustments based on my new wisdom is skillful. Here are the quotes. Unconditional fearlessness is cheerful and very light. It's true. It is not dour and grumpy. Warriorship means fearlessness with gentleness. Those are your true weapons. Fearlessness is neither on the side of success nor on the side of failure. It means just because we are fearing does not mean we are failed. It is what we do with the fear that determines our ease or our happiness. And so we turn towards consistently and with discipline. 12, joining heaven and earth. When mind, heaven, and body, world, earth, synchronize, authentic joy and sadness come together into mature bravery, like an autumn leaf floating effortlessly with reality. What I understand about this is that in our wholeness, mind, body, and heart, though we will continue to experience the realities of the autumns, there will be losses, there will be pain, there will be confusion, there will be doubt. We are not defined by them. but we use all of them as good medicine on the path to learning, on the path to being more. And that unshakable quality in us becomes, you can't destroy it, you can't get rid of it. It is no longer phase or trait related. It is just there, and then just there, and just there. The authentic joy and sadness mix. Here's some of the quotes. Heaven is our state of mind, and earth is our body and surroundings. Earth element, all connected. When mind and body are joined together, you are joining heaven and earth, all the goodness from all directions. Joining heaven and earth, you experience total unity, unshakable. We are no longer blown by the winds of our conditioning. Unshakable. Let's see what time it is. We'll try. Oh, we got a little time. Try a few more. Chapter 13, Making Friends with Fear. Teaches to study fear intimately. There's no way of getting around it. We might as well turn towards it. The fear becomes a fuel, or I said the word good medicine, for ashe is how that's pronounced. Ashe is an arising energy of presence, of wakefulness, of intention, of it's vital. Humor and creativity emerge from befriending our terror, not from running the other way. Relative ashe is connected with the fundamental principle of fearlessness. Relative ashe means that which we can evoke, become, be in the present moment. Can we turn with some kind of friendliness towards our own shaky tenderness over and over? And that is the discipline, and will lead to fearlessness on the path. Study how fear arises, manifests, and is actualized. Stay present to the whole of the experience. This is a part of the path and the teaching. There's no getting out of it. It is a common mistake to believe that fearlessness means what? No fear. It is not true. In fact, no fear is not a possibility in this human life with these conditions of gains and losses, births and deaths, fame and blame. Right? There's no hope for us not to arrive to the present moment without some kind of the reality of I don't know. The fearlessness comes from we go anyway into it. Fear is kindling to build a big fire of fearlessness. Study it, know it, and then continue to turn towards it. Monumental non-existence explains absolute ashe, that's what we call universal or otherworldly or beyond worldly. Diamond-like emptiness, basic goodness shines through our speech, our words, our deeds, our images, our thoughts, when we rest in this indestructible, monumental non-existence. We did practices for several months called Resting in Luminosity. Remember? That was just simply resting in that basic goodness. We weren't using the words about basic goodness. We were just resting in the vast, open, vibrant, alive space. And noticed that there was an indestructible quality in it. So that's what he's talking about there. There's a felt sense of this indestructible life. Even though we have not always done our best to care for it, here it is in an amazing way and continues. It is also empty, and emptiness, remember, means connected to all things, not separate from any, no separation. That we do not mistake this life, this body, this privilege, in any way as separate from the whole of this life, which is contributing something to your happiness and ease right now as we speak. The Ashe principle radiates in your heart. It is the magic already in us by virtue of being alive, already in us, by virtue of being human, already offered. Sadness and joy are one in basic goodness, because the sadness frequently means what? That we are opening the heart to love, and that we are opening the heart to love in a way that may not be permanent or fixed. We understand grief in this way as well, that they are not separate from each other at all. In fact, without one, you don't have the other. And I notice this to be true as well. The absolute or universal Ashe principle is like a diamond. That's how it's frequently understood, radiating different facets in all directions, cannot be destroyed. Impossible. It is a part of everything and all beings. Even when you don't have evidence in this moment of it, it is right here in you, and then also available and capable right here in others, even when, right, no evidence in the relative, no evidence in the relative. In the universal or absolute Ashe, it says no, but it is the capacity of all beings. I know this to be true, even when it is not in evidence. The capacity is there. Unconditional confidence. From tenderness grows unqualified confidence, a natural shared uplift that awakens not only you but others. Recognizing innate worth by virtue of this being human turns life from struggle into a jolly good life. We are appreciative, grateful, and then look for the evidence that there is good, both in ourselves and in this world. And we continue to turn the mind towards it, not towards the things that are things we wanted but didn't get, which is our habit. But not that, but not that. What did these teachings say? You already have everything you need. Everything else was extra. You just wanted it. Because love is possible now. Isn't it? There's not one thing in your way right now. Not one. Love is available now. Compassion is available now. Tenderness is available now. It is all right here. There is, in fact, as we understand, no other place to get it. But we frequently, don't we, leave this body-mind moment for what about then? And what about that? How come not this? And why didn't I? And it doesn't mean there haven't been losses. That's not nobody is so ridiculous. And it does mean that the losses are temporary. They are not a part of that love that we keep and that continues regardless. My husband is just handed me a herbal iced tea, which is quite sweet. The dog went to get his pup cup. I'm going to let that transition occur with a smile for the goodness that is, as I just said, always right here, now in the form of a herbal iced tea. Someone thinking of us. Appreciating details of life opens it up so it is no longer purely a struggle. I think what that referenced once again is it doesn't mean that pain isn't real. It doesn't mean that losses do not occur. It means that our collapsed heart in relationship to them is because we do not yet see clearly the larger, greater truth that all love exists throughout all time and can never be diminished. That even when there is pain or grief or loss, and these are all human and normal and unreasonable, they contribute in some essential way to that tenderness that is essential. Because then there would be no prizing the present moment, right? If you infinite moments is, well, next one, and then the next one, the next one. In fact, Joseph Goldstein, by the way, says, I like the idea of additional lifetimes. I don't know if it's real or not, but it means even if I didn't get it right in this one, I have another chance, which I thought was quite sweet. And here he is, a Buddhist teacher, saying, I don't know. I don't have complete evidence for other lifetimes. I do have complete evidence, though, for the beginning of this life, this moment. Because, right, I am carving the path of this life right now, and then right now, and then right now. And so we're beginning again and again and again, every single moment. And so it is like this life, this moment, and then this one. Discovering Wind Horse, and I think we'll stop. Discovering Wind Horse is that Lungta, that's a Tibetan term, is the surge of wholesome energy, the energy to continue, the energy would be like wholesome desire, is what Lungta is. Wholesome desire is understood to be the reason you got to the Zoom today, the reason you practiced today, the reason you're going to recollect your recitations at least once, working towards 3 times today. There is an energy, undiminished energy that says, this is good, this is the way. It cultivates momentum in us. The more we do it, the more we'll do it. And we understand this to be true. And that's the Wind Horse energy. It is this naturally arising energy of being alive and utilizing then with Lungta our capabilities and committing oneself to it. It takes energy, and by the way, it gives you energy. It is self-nourishing and self-feeding. Wind Horse is the surge of wholesome energy born from this genuine being alive, being human. Slow, organic communication and everyday elegance manifest this forward momentum. He means it doesn't have to be frantic. It doesn't have to be aggressive. It is just its own beautiful dance, I would say, is a way you could think of it. Like the horse running wild in the fields. Recognizing the goodness of human life is being all victorious. It is a continuous practice. Genuine communication with others has to be a slow and organic process. That means saying the truth just to say it doesn't make it right. Being the truth will always be right. And that's the genuine communication that he's talking about. He's not talking about words. Wind Horse is a storehouse of energy, the product of this genuine contact with this human life, and will always serve life, by the way. Can never and would never work against it. Would not be possible. So we've got, I think, about 5 or 6 more. We'll cover those next Tuesday. I'm going to make sure I remember where we're going to start with 17. Okay. I think that'll be it for now. any thoughts or questions as we get prepared for this week of recitation, reflection, feeling the effects? I want you to feel the effect of after the recitation. It'd be nice to drop in beforehand. What are the doubts? What are the fears? What are the feelings of unworthiness that may step in, that may collapse you from not only saying it, but from being it? You'll hear them. Like, what's the point? Uh, do I really need to do this? Is it really going to matter? This is the kind of unwholesome uh, questioning, right? Because it will get right in the way of your cultivating that discipline and destroy the potential for that goodness to be realized, right? And just saying it is a beautiful beginning. Then thinking, speaking, and acting it is the work of the rest of our lives over and over. All right. We're going to recite the Bodhisattva prayer. If you know it, please say it along. And if not, just soak it in. May I be a guard for those who need protection, a guide for those on the path, a boat, a raft, a bridge, for those who wish to cross the flood. May I be a lamp in the darkness, a resting place for the weary, a healing medicine for all who are sick, a vase of plenty, a tree of miracles. And for the boundless multitudes of living beings, may I bring sustenance and awakening, enduring like the earth and the sky, until all beings are freed from sorrow and all are awakened. May we all have happiness. May we be free from suffering. May we have ease of being. May we have the strength, the determination, and the discipline to continue and begin again and again. And may this practice this very day be of benefit to all beings everywhere without exception, beginning with you. So be it. Thank you all so very much. Thank you to Siobhan again and to all those who shared. Please send them to me. If you haven't picked something, pick something. If you can't pick something, I'll pick something for you. Let me know. No problem at all. What should I do? What should I do? Just ask me. I'll help you. You're so welcome, everybody. Thank you. Have a beautiful day. Make it matter. Make it matter. There's a lot to be done in this gorgeous day. I'm counting on you. Take care, everyone.